YouTube, Electric Adventures here, and I have a package in the mail. I already know what's in it. I've partially opened the top to make the video a little quicker, and it's from CollectorVision, the people who publish the Homebrew ColecoVision games, and I use their services to publish my Homebrew game, and I thought I might as well support the other people who release games at the same time as I did. So there's sorry, two in here. So the first one is Hellfire, and I believe the guy that does this has a YouTube channel called BFG Passion. I'll check that and link to it down below. So it's a remake of the arcade game Hellfire on the Coleco, where you're a sub and you've got to shoot the others, or dodge the other subs and shoot the helicopters that are flying across. So it's usual CollectorVision, nice high quality. So I'm just being very careful opening the box flaps. So it comes in a black cartridge, a little bit of polystyrene fluff in there. It's a really nice label. Comes in a black cartridge, and we have, yeah, okay, the space is polystyrene, so that's why we're getting some polystyrene fluff. And here's the manual. A cool graphic on the back. Yeah, sorry, I just can't seem to get my voice back properly. The game description. I really do a good job at putting these games together to make them look just like the games would have looked like if you bought these games when the Coleco was out in the 80s. So that's the first one, and the second one, a gentleman called Klaus, and he is from the Memotech MTX computer side of things. Actually, I'll show it to you because there's a picture of the Memotech there. So what he's done is taken some classic games from them that were released only on the Memotech, and he's ported them across to the Coleco. I've been talking to Klaus a fair bit during the development of my game, helped him out with a few tips on how to do a few things. It looks like there's 4 games on the one cartridge. So these are straight ports across. So we've got one, it's a bit Centipede like, another one, it's like Jetpack on the Spectrum, another one that's maybe a bit Scramble like, and another Invaders in Formation one. So it'll be interesting to see what the games are like. So we could have a look at the cartridge too. Right, and this one's got a silver cartridge. And actually Klaus messaged on Facebook just today that he's managed to get his second collection of games working, because you've got to get the games, everything to fit in 32K to go on a normal cartridge. And he believes he's got his second one going. So here's the manual. It's got a bit of basic code on the back. Okay, and they've got the original, I think, art from the released games. It's got a menu screen that looks like a Memotech computer screen. Jetpack, yeah, so like Jetpack really. And there's the last one there. So, so I don't have to talk too much in this bit. Let's plug them into the Coleco and give them a play. Right, here we go with the first game. Now this freaked me out a little bit. It's a typical example of somebody writing a game but not really getting anybody else to test it. Right, I've turned the game on and you're presented with this screen. Right, well, for a start it doesn't tell you the name of the game, now Coleco games can have a splash screen, which this one has, and then normally after a period of time it'll go on to the next page. I thought I had a faulty cart, because I was pressing buttons, but I was pressing them too soon. So they've got the timer thing there. You can't press the button until after the timer. It's poor user interface design, unfortunately. So I have to take marks off of that. And then we do it again. We play our music. We have our nice little logo here. What in the world am I supposed to do now? I've got to press the button again. It's not an obvious thing to necessarily try. You shouldn't have to know that you press random buttons. But anyway, we can select the number of players, a difficulty level, which is always good, and we press start. Okay, so I'm this little subdue down here, and I've got to shoot the helicopters. Oops. We're going to hit the helicopters. So it starts off pretty easy. So this is conversion of an arcade game now. Ow. And that's what you've got to watch out for. You get no reaction time whatsoever for those things, and no indication that they're coming, that I've worked out anyway. Now, you can't shoot those, which is like slow depth charges. You've so got to keep a lookout for those missiles, torpedoes that come along. No, don't. We should get. Whoops, there we go. Okay, we could shoot that. Okay, and there's a ship coming along the surface. You've just got to have really fast reactions to, you know, when one of those things comes along, and you need to stay in the centre of the screen. There's another sort of fire. They can drop down at you. We haven't had that yet. Oh, here it is. This quite nasty one where you have to fit through the fire, and it's something that's dropped down. It's obviously was a little off the side of the screen. So I'm not doing too bad, I'm doing better than my... So I said this is not my very first plate, because I turned the cartridge on just to make sure my Coleco on-off switch was working. There we go, we get to see the thing that's shooting the things this time. Okay, and now the pattern of the helicopters has changed a little bit, and that's what actually drops that nasty form of attack. So it is actually nice that the game has a bit of progression. Oops. I think I'm in for a lot of pain. Whoops. Okay. So it is actually good that the game progresses in difficulty. And they've used some nice techniques to get a bit of colour on the screen. And, you know, replicate the arcade game. And I do like that there's different attack patterns. That gives you a bit of variety. And, you know, as always, not sure what's going to come next. Whoops! That thing got me. Alright, so that's Hellfire. Let's try the MTX Classics. Right, here we go with the MTX Classics. And this one doesn't make the mistake of the other one. And actually progresses from its boot up screen. And then it has a simulation of the MTX computer interface, and there's 4 games. So let's try. And we've got pause, and we can go back to menu with the star. Okay. So first game is Kilopede, which is like Centipede. So we shoot the mushrooms. Whoops. Ooh. We've got our dropping things. Okay. doesn't seem to play too bad. We're missing our spiders, of course, unless they come along later. Whoops. Oh, obviously it wasn't quite down the bottom of the screen. It looks like we start again. It doesn't quite, the division mechanic doesn't quite play the same as Centipede. Alright, let's try the star to go back to. Maybe you've got to do it from here. Star. Hash, maybe? No, alright, we'll try and reset. Anyway, as you can see, the port isn't perfect. Coleco timings are incredibly difficult because the video RAM is the slowest, cheapest stuff they could find, and the timings on copying your data is very thing. Now I've had a lot of trouble with this game. Glitching. It's quite an interesting game because it's a bit like Scramble. You can bomb as well. The main thing to get used to. Whenever you shoot something, the explosion stays around for a little while, and that explosion can hurt you. Okay, next stage. And it also blocks you from shooting stuff further forward. There also seems to be a thing that if you shoot it, you die. So you've got to be careful not to just shoot everything. But it's not too bad. It was particularly sensitive to my Coleco's power switch not being perfect. There we go, that blue thing down there with the green thing on it, if you shoot that you die. Oops. That's that blue nuclear thing. If you hit that, you seem to die. Oops. And there's game over. Well, let's see if they go back to menu thing. Oh wait, this time it's just a timing thing perhaps. So next is Astro Pack, which is like Jetpack on the Spectrum. So grab the bits and we've got to drop them on your spaceship. You can't actually drop the bits though, you've got to carry them all the way there. So it's a little different from Jetpack. Whoops. And you do sometimes die randomly. Not sure I really hit anything there, so whoops. I'm not sure whether you get set back. You get set back when you die on getting everything for your ship or not. But also, as you can see, it has some times when it runs faster and other times when it runs slower. Oops. Yes, it's very sensitive there. But that's not a bad game. Okay. You see that returned to the menu when I pressed hash, not the star. Maybe I needed to pause it first and then press the star. Okay, let's try the last one. mix of Space Invaders and Galaxian. I've only got the one shot, so you need to make sure you don't miss. Oh, not doing very well. I'm not sure whether if you let the ones that aren't diving down, whether or not that causes any problems. But it's not a bad little, Space Invader Galaxian type of game. Good fun. So overall, not a bad little collection of games. So it's good supporting other homebrew developers. There we go. That keeps on mixing the patterns up, which gives you a bit of variety. Oops, committed suicide there. Alright, so that was a quick look at 2 homebrew games by 2 other developers. And thank you all for watching. Thanks to all my subscribers, and I'll catch you next time.